Okay, this is Fred, chapter 18, and you'll notice my picture here is ice cream party because we are almost through with this Fred book. We have this chapter, and then we have another chapter, and then we are going to have an ice cream party. So that sounds exciting, okay? Now, you might wonder, why does this say it's challenge time? You'll notice I have some things written up. I have honey cards, the yellow card that some of you have been using to do multiplication, and then just plain multiplication facts. So this is my challenge too, is that you need to take your honey cards home and study them, and you need to learn, you need to be able by February 1st, so today's what, January 4th, you need to be able to take and rewrite that yellow card out and do all your multiplication facts by February 1st. Everybody that can will be put into a contest, and we're going to have a drawing for a prize, maybe something cool like a gift certificate to Target or something, or Walmart. So take it home. You need to practice it. This is important. You've got to be able to know your multiplication facts by the time we do the Iowa testing. So make it a fact. Do it. I'm going to send out an email to remind parents that everybody needs to work on their multiplication facts if you haven't already passed them. Now, you might remember in Fred, we talked about in the previous chapter, I know we've had Christmas break, Fred ordered some, or at a booth, somebody was selling brass braces. And, okay, so if you remember the brass bases that Fred was talking about before in chapter 17, I may have already said this, but I got lost, which look like this or something like that. They weighed 5 ounces, and when we looked at it before, we were looking at how much they cost. We looked at pennies, and we did all that stuff. You may or may not remember. But now we're going to look at it by how much they weigh. So if Fred wanted to buy 8 brass braces, and they each weigh 5 ounces, and so I showed you 8 of them. They all should be the same size. But if they have, I could say how many, if he buys 8, how many ounces would they weigh? And 8 times 5 would be 40 ounces, because each one of these would weigh 5 ounces, 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 5 ounces. So we could do 5 times 8. We could also add each one of these together 8 times. We could do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Now, I could also look at 1 pound weight equals 16 ounces. So it's the same measurement, just 16 ounces equals 1 pound. Do you know how many pounds that you weigh if you were on a scale? So some things we weigh in pounds. If you don't have enough for a pound, you might end up with 1 pound, 2 ounces, or 3 pounds, 10 ounces. So let's see what we got here. So if we take 16 ounces, that's 1 pound, and divide it into 40 ounces, because that was the total, and we want to see how many pounds do we end up. So we take, and we were using ounces, because we did the 5 ounces times 8 to get the 40. We're going to divide 16, because that's 1 pound, into the 40. And when I do that, I got 16 will go into 40. Doesn't go into 4, so nothing's going to go there. 32 times. I would know that because to the side I would have figured out what that is. And then I have 8. And in this case, 16 won't go into 8, and we're not going to go any farther. And we would end up with the remainder of 8. So we would have, our answer is 2 pounds and 8 ounces. Now, just as a reminder, it's getting close to 4 o'clock. We had 800 people that were coming for that math and pizza conference, and no one wanted to be late, and no one wanted to miss anything. I don't know if you remember, but Stan Anthony was running around taking orders. So I put a picture of Stan Anthony there. Stan Anthony didn't want to interrupt Fred's speech, and so while Fred was talking, he wanted to get the orders in so he could start making the pizzas. Sounds reasonable. If you owned a pizza place, you might want to do the same thing. So Stan Anthony had 3 questions he needed to ask. One is what topping do you want to each customer? And believe it or not, there was 49 choices. Second question was, what crust do you want? There was 4 choices. You could have a regular crust, thin crust, extra thick crust, or whole wheat. Personally, I would be upset because they are not offering me a gluten-free one, but so be it. And question 3 is, do you want extra cheese? I'm guessing probably everybody in the room would say they want extra cheese. You know what? A pizza party. Maybe if everybody learns all their math facts, we should have a pizza party just for the 5th and 6th grade. Wouldn't that be cool? That might be a possibility. Or maybe a pizza party and a gift certificate for drawing. I don't know. Carry on here. Let's see. So you would be asked is how many different options are there on a 1-topping pizza? We had 49 different kinds of toppings. We're not doing combinations, just 1 topping on there. So he has 49 different ingredients you could choose from. 4 types of crusts and extra cheese or no cheese. So 2 cheese toppings, or 2 cheese choices. Now, we could probably, if we didn't want to have to take time to multiply this out, we could sort of estimate. And one of the ways we could estimate would be 49 is almost 50. 50 times 4 is going to be 200, and times 2 is going to be 400. So we could say we probably, if I estimate, are going to have 400 choices here. Obviously, 49 is less than 50, so it's not going to quite be 400, but this would give us an estimate. So whenever you can round up to a number to make it easier, that tells you at least if you're going to be in the ballpark. And so that's something to remember as we're looking at testing and things like that coming up, is how can you estimate? Now, in real life, the people at the conference, they could order 2 toppings or 3 toppings or 4 toppings. They could order double cheese, or someone might be gluten-free like me, have some sort of allergies. Maybe someone would want to order a pizza without a crust. I don't even know what that would look like. Pizza without a crust. So Stan Anthony goes to Fred and asks Fred what kind of pizza he wants. Fred says, I'm not very hungry. Stan Anthony insists, you've got to order pizza. We can make it an extra small one just for you. Well, Fred felt trapped. I don't really want a pizza, but he's making me have a pizza. So he asked Stan Anthony for a order pad, and he filled it out, and this is what he wrote. So let's look at what the order pad looked like. It says pie 1, toppings. Fred wrote, no toppings, please. Crust, skip the crust. He's on what's called the Atkins diet. I don't even know anybody that's on that diet. Extra cheese, make that no cheese. Special instructions, no sauce, please. Size, extra small, which is a 12-inch diameter. A regular size would be like 18 inches. Okay. So when Fred handed back the order pad, Stan Anthony looked at it and he frowned and he said, there's not a single calorie here. A mouse couldn't live on this. Fred took the order pad and made one change, and it was on the size. He changed it to Hungry Man, which was a 48-inch diameter. And Stan Anthony, he got all the rest of the orders, and he rushed into the kitchen to make 800 pizzas. I wanted to show you a picture of the pie one. The kitchen is actually in the, well, I guess maybe the backyard or something. Sorry about that. And his kitchen is larger than the dining room. You can see that he has 9 giant pizza ovens on the north side of his kitchen, and that's where earlier this day he made most of his crusts. An hour ago he had turned on all of his ovens. Yesterday he had chopped all the mushrooms. He had chopped all the mushrooms. And he opened all the cans of anchovies. Does anybody like anchovies? He had diced the tomatoes. And he had counted all the pepperoni slices. He had grated the cheese. He had mashed the garlic. Fried the hamburger. Crumbled the bacon. Stirred the sauce. And in short, he was ready to make 800 pizzas. And that leads us, guess what? And you guessed it, it's your turn to play. Yay! Today, you need to ask me for the questions because I copied them from the book, so you'll have a piece of paper so you don't have to write anything down or do anything. So, yippee! And I just thought you might use a joke because I know y'all like groan when you have to do your turn to play. But just think, ice cream party, maybe a pizza party. What can we do? Let's see. Try hard.